In addition to reaching out to military youth, and indeed it's our desire to be able to provide programs to reach out to every kind of young person here in the islands, Youth for Christ is also committed to reaching tomorrow's leaders. You met her a little bit earlier, but recently we appointed our first paid employee, full-time director for a program developed by my wife and me 7 years ago called the Center for Tomorrow's Leaders. Katie, I'm so glad you're on board with us.
Well, thank you.
And can you tell us a little bit about what the Center for Tomorrow's Leaders is?
The goal of the Center for Tomorrow's Leaders is, first of all, to find those high school students in Hawaii that really have a passion to make a difference. They're passionate about a certain issue, and they're influential amongst their peers. And it's our goal to find those students and then to actually give them the training, to tell them that we really believe that you can make a difference, and here's how you're going to do it. And so our program is to equip them to be leaders.
Now you're targeting some of the most outstanding junior and senior students now in high school as they get ready to go off to college.
Right.
And the program continues to work with them after they graduate.
Yeah, even after they graduate from our program, they're still a part of a larger network. And now we have over 100 alumni in our program, and they continue to meet annually. And we continue to train them and even provide practical assistance like internships and continued guidance. And so our goal is really for a movement of young leaders who are committing to make a difference, not only in Hawaii, but around the Pacific Rim.
Now, Katie, there are a great many leadership programs. What makes Youth for Christ's Center for Tomorrow's Leaders unique?
I think a few things make it unique. First of all, it's the access to leaders. Again, what I said before, it's not just telling a student you can make a difference. It's putting a leader in Hawaii who is successful and who has gone that extra step. And they get to personally ask them questions on how they've reached this point in their journey. And so I think it's the access that's particularly unique.
Right. The young people in the center get to meet with leaders at the highest levels of government, business, and the nonprofit sector, and actually sit down with them and dialogue, which is just an amazing opportunity. Now, Katie, you know that my wife Patty and I are especially proud of you because you are a graduate 7 years ago of our very first class in the center. You went on to get your college degree at Pepperdine, did some postgraduate things in England, and now you're back working for the program. Why are you giving this part of your life to ministry in YFC?
Well, I really believe, and ever since I've been in the program, that a group of committed, compassionate leaders can make all the difference in the world. And I've personally witnessed people in college and as I was traveling who had a passion to make something better and who also had the leadership capacity to do it and the impact that they were able to have. And so it's exciting for me to now have 100 alumni and have more students now in our program. I'm excited about the possibilities, and that's why I chose to work with the program.
Well, thank you, Katie. As we reach out to young people from all walks of life in Hawaii, there's a heartbeat, and that is to reach every teen with the love of Jesus by every means. And so we collaborate and work with other organizations, we work with the schools, and one of the groups of people that are just so important to the work are parents. Maybe you're aware of our weekly radio program and seminars called YFC for Parents. Right now I'd like to turn back to the group here a bit because they truly are experts in the work of youth ministry. And I want to throw out just a few questions to get their opinion on matters. Let me throw this question out, folks. What would you say Hawaii's young people are like? If you're trying to advise parents or youth workers or teachers on how to work with them, how would you characterize them? Anyone who can dive in.
I think I'll start off. I think parents should know that kids are going through probably different experiences than they themselves, the parents, went through when they were in high school. And so there's a unique set of situations, values that kids have that parents need to be aware of that are going on in their life. Technology has changed and the influences from the culture have changed, and so the perspective that the kids have and the lenses that they see life through are much different. They're definitely the same person, but definitely going through different experiences and have different pressures on them.
Dan, I think you and I both know that as parents of teenagers and young people who've actually left our home already. I remember when I was in elementary school, and I read a little article recently that said teachers back then said the three biggest problems at school were running in the hallways, chewing gum, and not raising hands. What would you all say are the three biggest problems in schools today?
You know, Dan mentioned technology. And one of the things that technology has done is it has opened up for this generation all the topics at once. And so they don't come at an appropriate time, or as you're growing up and at this age and then this age and this age. And so I would say that they have a gauntlet of options and choices and challenges to make.
That's right. In fact, young people today are not safely confined to what's appropriate for one age group. Little children today are seeing things that maybe people didn't see until they were married years and years ago, and the opportunity to ruin your life when you're in middle school exists today like it has never existed in American history at all. Let me ask you this question. What kinds of needs are the greatest needs of teenagers here in Hawaii today?
I think that young people just need consistency in their lives. Whether we're talking about young people growing up with divorce in their family, or in foster homes or whatever, just being there for them on a consistent basis, I think, goes a long way. I've actually had several students that are now graduating from college that came through some of the clubs that I've run, and they've expressed that to me, that they're just thankful that I've always been there and have always been accessible. And I think it means a lot for them to have something constant.
What do you say are some of the attitudes toward sexual morality, basic goodness that young people have today? These have changed, haven't they, significantly over the years?
Yeah, I think that definitely the way young people are viewing sexuality has changed probably more in the last 10 years or 5 years than we would have ever anticipated. And it's growing younger and younger. It used to be like all these kind of crazy things were happening in high school, and now it's junior high where kids are having these sexual experiences way younger than we would have ever thought.
Just in general, knowing right from wrong, knowing standards of goodness, what people in our culture would have learned from the Ten Commandments many, many years ago. How well do young people know this today?
That's kind of tricky because to some degree there's a breakdown of maybe an immediate sense of what is right and wrong, but there's another force, and that's just peer pressure. There are students who are making choices against their conscience in order to belong. And that's actually, a positive value, is, the desire to be a part of other people and to be a part of their lives and to share something in common. And so a lot of times they're torn between these two things.